Did you know that two women can eat the same meal, do the same workout, but still store fat in completely different places? Strange, right? The real reason isn't your diet alone, it's your hormones. Welcome to Women Healthy Tips, the channel where science meets motivation to help women understand their bodies better. Today, we're uncovering the truth about female fat storage and hormones. And trust me, once you understand this, you'll never look at your metabolism the same way again. Let's talk about something that many women feel but rarely understand deeply, the way estrogen controls where and how your body stores fat. Most women think fat gain is just about calories or lack of exercise, but the truth runs deeper. Estrogen is not just a hormone that affects your mood or menstrual cycle. It is a metabolic guide that tells your body where to store energy for survival and reproduction. Imagine estrogen as a director in your body's theater, assigning different roles to different areas. Hips, thighs, and buttocks become energy reserves, not mistakes. This is why many women develop that classic pear-shaped figure, which in biological terms is actually a sign of health and fertility. Those areas are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, important for pregnancy and baby development. So when you look at your reflection and see curves, understand that your body is not working against you, it's following a natural, intelligent design written by your hormones. But as we move through different stages of life, that same helpful estrogen can begin to decline, and the fat that once stayed around your hips and thighs suddenly migrates to your belly. Many women in their 40 seconds and 50 seconds wake up wondering why their body shape feels unfamiliar even though their habits haven't changed. This isn't failure, it's physiology. When estrogen drops, it shifts fat storage from reproductive areas to the abdominal region because the body is trying to keep a source of estrogen alive. Fat tissue itself produces a weak form of estrogen, so the body holds onto it like a backup system. It's your body's way of protecting balance, but it ends up creating that stubborn belly fat that seems to resist every diet. Understanding this gives you power. Instead of punishing yourself with endless workouts or strict diets, you can start supporting your hormonal health naturally. The key is helping your liver metabolize estrogen efficiently, because when estrogen builds up or becomes dominant, it creates fat storage signals. Foods like broccoli, kale, cabbage, and cauliflower contain compounds that help your liver clear excess estrogen. These simple foods become hormone allies. Also, reducing processed sugar and alcohol helps because they burden the liver, slowing detoxification. You might think of every meal as a message to your hormones. A meal full of whole foods, fiber, and greens says balance, while one loaded with refined sugar says store, fat. Stress management plays another role. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, which competes with estrogen and disrupts its normal rhythm. High cortisol lowers estrogen sensitivity, confusing your body's fat storage system. That's why even small, daily relaxation rituals can make such a difference. 5 minutes of mindful breathing, a walk in the sunlight, or journaling gratitude can recalibrate hormones at a cellular level. It's not just self-care, it's biochemical balance. And sleep. Sleep is not a luxury, it's a hormonal reset. Poor sleep interferes with both estrogen and leptin, the hormone that controls hunger. When you are sleep deprived, your body craves sugar. Your estrogen becomes erratic, and fat storage accelerates. So building a nighttime routine, dim lights, no late caffeine, and consistent bedtime is not a beauty habit. It's a fat loss strategy built on science. Once you begin seeing estrogen as your partner and not your problem, everything changes. You stop fighting your body and start working with it. You realize your curves are not flaws, but signals of strength and life. You start feeding your hormones what they need instead of starving your body into imbalance. That mindset shift alone can spark the discipline and peace you've been searching for. Now let's talk about another silent but powerful player in female fat storage, insulin. This hormone determines whether your food becomes fuel or fat. Each time you eat, especially carbohydrates or sugar, your blood glucose rises. In response, insulin is released to escort that sugar into your cells for energy. When your muscles are active and your cells are sensitive, this works beautifully. But when you snack constantly or consume too many refined carbs, your body releases insulin too often, and over time, your cells stop responding effectively. This is called insulin resistance, and it's one of the biggest reasons women struggle with belly fat, fatigue, and cravings. The female body is particularly sensitive to insulin changes because hormones fluctuate across the menstrual cycle. During certain phases, like the luteal phase, you may notice stronger cravings for sweets. That's because progesterone and estrogen levels influence insulin sensitivity. The trick is not to fight your cravings with willpower alone, but to stabilize your blood sugar so your hormones don't fluctuate wildly. Eating protein and healthy fats with every meal slows digestion and keeps insulin stable. For example, pairing fruit with nuts or yogurt instead of eating it alone can make a big difference in how your body stores or burns that energy. Women who understand their insulin rhythm often notice more stable moods and energy throughout the day. Think about that afternoon crash after a sugary snack. It's not lack of discipline, it's insulin doing its job too aggressively. When insulin spikes, blood sugar falls rapidly, and your brain thinks it's starving, pushing you toward more sugar. Breaking that loop starts with awareness. Every time you reduce unnecessary snacking and give your body time between meals, you lower insulin levels and signal your body to use stored fat for energy. That's how fat loss begins at a hormonal level, not through restriction, but through rhythm. Intermittent fasting, when done gently and with awareness, can help many women rebalance insulin. But it must be adapted to your hormonal state. Shorter fasting windows, more hydration, and listening to your body are essential. Overdoing fasting can stress your system, raising cortisol and slowing progress. Balance is the goal, not extremes. What most women forget is that insulin health is not just about what you eat, it's also about how you move and rest. Simple daily activities like walking after meals, stretching, or light strength training make muscles more insulin sensitive. Muscles act like sponges for glucose, pulling it out of the bloodstream and lowering insulin naturally. You don't have to spend hours in the gym. 10 minutes of movement after eating can change your hormonal chemistry in powerful ways. When you look at food, think of it as communication. Every bite tells insulin either to store or to release energy. Every meal is a chance to build trust with your metabolism. And every balanced choice is a step toward hormonal freedom. Women who master this communication find that fat loss feels less like a fight and more like flow. They stop blaming themselves and start respecting the incredible hormonal dance that shapes their bodies. Once you understand estrogen and insulin, you begin to see your body with compassion and intelligence. You realize that your hormones aren't obstacles, they're signals guiding you toward balance. Each adjustment you make, better food, better sleep, better self-care, is not just a diet tweak, but a declaration that you are ready to live in harmony with your biology. And that's where transformation truly begins. Cortisol is one of the most misunderstood hormones in the female body. Yet it plays one of the most powerful roles in how fat is stored and how energy is used. Most people only know it as the stress hormone, but it's far more than that. Cortisol was designed to protect you, to help you survive danger. Thousands of years ago, when humans faced real physical threats, cortisol's job was to mobilize energy so you could fight or flee. It would raise your blood sugar, sharpen your focus, and store fat strategically around your abdomen to protect vital organs. In those times, it saved lives. But in today's world, that same mechanism has become your body's biggest trap. Because the modern world keeps you in a constant state of threat without a real way to release it. Emails, bills, arguments, responsibilities. Overthinking all trigger cortisol in the same way that physical danger once did. Your body can't tell the difference between a wild animal and a stressful day at work. The result? You're storing fat not because you're eating too much, but because your body believes it's under attack. When cortisol is elevated for long periods, your metabolism shifts into conservation mode. Your body holds on to every calorie, every ounce of fat, because it thinks scarcity is coming. And that's why some women can eat perfectly clean and still not see results, because their body isn't in a state of safety, it's in survival. Think about those weeks when you feel bloated, puffy, or heavier even though your diet hasn't changed. That's cortisol changing your water balance and slowing your fat burning ability. Chronic stress even affects your hunger hormones, raising ghrelin, the hormone that makes you crave sugar, and lowering leptin, the one that tells you when you're full. That's why emotional eating happens. It's not weakness, it's biology responding to stress. The first step to balance is awareness. You can't fix what you don't recognize. Start noticing your stress triggers. Maybe it's your phone notifications, lack of sleep, or rushing every morning. Most women underestimate the weight of emotional pressure. They think stress is normal because it's constant, but your body keeps score and cortisol never forgets. Creating micro moments of calm through your day rewires that stress response. 5 minutes of deep breathing, listening to soft music, or just stepping outside to feel the sun can literally lower cortisol. Science shows that even gentle movement like walking or stretching signals your brain that you are safe, switching your body from survival mode to healing mode. One powerful mindset shift is to see rest as productive. Society glorifies hustle, but your hormones thrive in rhythm, not chaos. Cortisol follows a natural curve. It should be high in the morning to wake you up and lower at night so you can rest. Late night scrolling, caffeine afternoon, and lack of routine confuse that rhythm. Reclaiming your daily pattern restores that flow. Imagine waking up refreshed instead of anxious, feeling light instead of bloated. That's not fantasy. That's what cortisol balance feels like. And when cortisol is steady, fat loss becomes easier, mood improves, and your body starts trusting you again. Supporting cortisol balance isn't just about stress management, it's about nourishment too. Stable blood sugar keeps cortisol in check. Skipping meals or surviving on caffeine spikes it. Eating enough protein, fiber, and healthy fats tells your body it's safe to release fat because energy is stable. Hydration matters as well. Even mild dehydration is a physical stress that raises cortisol. So when you take care of your basic needs, sleep, food, water, you're not being lazy or indulgent. You're creating hormonal safety. You're giving your body permission to burn fat, not store it. The next key player in this dance is progesterone, the calm, balancing hormone that often gets overshadowed by estrogen but is just as important. If estrogen is the builder, progesterone is the stabilizer. It calms your nervous system, supports sleep, and helps your body use fat as fuel efficiently. When progesterone levels are strong, you feel grounded and emotionally balanced. When they drop, you might feel anxious, restless, or bloated. Many women experience this drop before their period or during perimenopause, and they often mistake it for mood swings or water retention. What's really happening is hormonal imbalance caused by stress, nutrient deficiencies, and lack of rest. Stress is the biggest enemy of progesterone because cortisol and progesterone share the same raw material, pregnenolone. When your body is constantly producing cortisol, it steals pregnenolone from progesterone production. This is known as the pregnenolone steal. Your body prioritizes survival over reproduction. So if you're always stressed, your body thinks it's not safe to support progesterone production, and that's when imbalance begins. The result is disrupted sleep, low energy, cravings, and stubborn fat that won't budge. Many women blame aging, but it's often stress chemistry in disguise. To rebuild progesterone naturally, you need to give your body what it needs to feel safe again. That starts with quality sleep. Most progesterone restoration happens at night while you rest. Sleep deprivation signals stress and lowers progesterone production. That's why going to bed before midnight and keeping a consistent schedule can make such a huge difference. Nutrition is also key. Vitamin B6, magnesium, and zinc are essential for progesterone synthesis. Foods like bananas, chickpeas, pumpkin seeds, and leafy greens nourish these pathways. When you feed your hormones start feeding your energy, confidence, and metabolism back. One of the most beautiful qualities of progesterone is how it supports calmness. It interacts with the brain's GABA receptors, the same system that promotes relaxation. That's why when progesterone is balanced, you feel emotionally stable and less reactive. You start responding instead of reacting. You start feeling like yourself again. And this inner peace creates an outer transformation because when your mind is calm, your body follows. You start making better choices, not from fear or guilt, but from balance. Think of your hormones as a symphony. Cortisol sets the rhythm, progesterone adds harmony, and together they create flow. When cortisol is too loud, progesterone's soothing melody gets drowned out. But when you lower stress and restore calm, your body begins to find its rhythm again. This is when you stop fighting your biology and start aligning with it. You begin to notice the small things that build big change: drinking water when you're stressed, instead of reaching for snacks, walking outside to clear your mind instead of scrolling, giving yourself rest instead of punishment. These small acts of awareness are powerful medicine. Your body is not broken, it's intelligent and responsive. When you nurture it with consistency, calm, and nourishment, it rewards you with energy, clarity, and a metabolism that works for you, not against you. You don't have to do everything perfectly. You just have to start treating your body like it's on your side, because it is. Every step you take toward balance tells your hormones you are listening, you are healing, and you are ready to live in alignment with the power inside you. That's where true transformation begins, not from restriction, but from understanding, patience, and self-respect. Your thyroid is like the master switchboard of your entire metabolism. It's a small, butterfly-shaped gland sitting quietly in your neck, but it has the power to control how fast or slow your body burns energy, digests food, and even how brightly your mind functions. Every heartbeat, every calorie burned, every ounce of energy you feel traces back to those thyroid hormones, T3 and T4. When your thyroid is balanced, you feel alive. You wake up with motivation, your digestion flows smoothly, your skin glows, and your body burns fat efficiently. But when it slows down, everything slows with it. Fat begins to cling to your body, especially around your midsection. You feel tired even after a full night's sleep. You crave carbs for quick energy. You may notice your hair thinning or your skin feeling dry. These aren't random symptoms, they're whispers from your thyroid asking for help. Many women don't realize how deeply stress, poor nutrition, and hormonal changes affect their thyroid. Chronic stress raises cortisol, and too much cortisol can block the conversion of T4 to T3, the active thyroid hormone that drives metabolism. So even if your thyroid is making hormones, your body might not be using them properly. That's why some women get their lab tests back normal, but still feel sluggish and gain weight easily. Their thyroid is not broken, it's being silenced by lifestyle imbalances. When you live in a constant state of fatigue or overwhelm, your thyroid reads that signal as slow down, conserve energy, because it believes you are in danger. Your body is not betraying you, it's protecting you. Supporting your thyroid starts with nourishment. Your thyroid depends on certain minerals to function: iodine, selenium, zinc, and iron. Without them, it can't produce or activate hormones efficiently. Seaweed, eggs, fish, Brazil nuts, and pumpkin seeds are nature's gifts for thyroid health. A few Brazil nuts daily can provide all the selenium your body needs to convert thyroid hormones effectively. Another overlooked factor is protein. Thyroid hormones travel through the body attached to proteins. So if you're not eating enough, those hormones can't reach their target cells. Start each day with a protein-rich breakfast to set your metabolism on fire. Movement also speaks directly to your thyroid. You don't need high-intensity workouts that exhaust you. Your thyroid loves balance. Gentle strength training, walking, yoga, and consistent movement keep your metabolism awake without stressing your adrenal glands. Think of movement as medicine. When you move with intention, you send your thyroid a message that energy is available, that it's safe to burn fat again. Sleep is another secret weapon. Your thyroid recovers and regulates at night. Late nights, endless screens, and irregular sleep schedules confuse your hormonal rhythm. Setting a bedtime routine, keeping your phone away, and creating a calm environment tells your body it's safe to rest. And in that safety, your metabolism heals. Your mindset matters too. When you speak negatively about your body, when you carry resentment toward yourself, your stress hormones rise. That emotional chemistry suppresses thyroid activity just as much as poor diet does. Gratitude, affirmations, and self-compassion are not fluffy ideas, they are biological tools for healing. Speak to your body with kindness. Thank it for working, for adapting, for surviving. Healing begins with cooperation, not criticism. Understanding your thyroid is understanding that your energy is sacred. You are not lazy or broken, you are out of balance. Every small, consistent act of self-care gives your thyroid permission to turn the lights back on inside you. When your thyroid wakes up, your confidence rises, your mood lifts, and your body begins to trust the process again. You realize that health is not about speed, it's about rhythm. And that rhythm brings us to the most empowering truth of all the harmony between all your hormones. Your body is not a collection of separate systems, it's a synchronized orchestra. Each hormone, estrogen, progesterone, cortisol, insulin, thyroid, plays its note. When one is out of tune, the whole song changes. The secret to long-term fat loss and vitality isn't about fighting your hormones. It's about helping them find harmony. Every woman's hormonal rhythm is unique. It's not static, it changes through your cycle. through the seasons of your life, through your habits and emotions. When you start listening to these changes instead of ignoring them, you step into your power. For example, during the first half of your menstrual cycle, your estrogen levels rise, giving you more energy, motivation, and better carb tolerance. That's the perfect time for intense workouts and lighter meals. As you move into the second half, progesterone rises, and your body prefers calm, steady energy from protein and healthy fats. This is the time to slow your pace, rest more, and focus on comfort foods that stabilize your mood. When you align your lifestyle with your natural hormonal flow, your body responds with balance and ease. This approach is not about control, it's about connection. When you connect with your body, you start to sense when you need rest, when you need nourishment, and when you need movement. You stop punishing yourself for cravings or fatigue and start interpreting them as communication. Your body is wise. It's always talking. You just need to listen. Tracking your cycle, journaling your moods, or simply observing your energy can reveal powerful patterns. Once you understand those patterns, you can make changes that feel natural instead of forced. Working with your hormones also means letting go of comparison. Every woman's body is different because every hormonal blueprint is unique. Some women gain weight under stress, others lose it. Some feel energized in the morning, others peak in the evening. The goal isn't to fit into one formula, but to find your own. That's where freedom lives, in the personalized understanding of your biology. When your hormones are in harmony, everything feels lighter. You think clearer, sleep deeper, and feel emotionally stable. Fat loss becomes a side effect of balance, not punishment. You stop chasing quick fixes because you're living in flow with your natural rhythm. Imagine waking up feeling peaceful in your body, knowing you're not fighting against it, but growing with it. That's what hormone harmony feels like. The power has always been inside you. Your hormones are not your enemies, they are your guides, designed to protect and evolve you. When you honor that connection with patience, nourishment, rest, and self-love, your body rewards you with balance and beauty from the inside out. Transformation doesn't happen through force, it happens through understanding. And every woman who learns to work with her hormones instead of against them steps into her most powerful, confident, and radiant self. Your journey toward harmony isn't about perfection, it's about awareness. The moment you decide to listen, your body begins to heal.